For more insight and analysis, we turn to our Browns insider, Reggie Rucker. Reggie, I watched the first half of the game and I turned it off. What happened in the second half?
It looked like it was going to be a runaway, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well, the National Football League is filled with lots of interesting athletes and very bright guys who coach these players, and conditions like the heat factor into it. And then sometimes very reliable players make very suspicious decisions on the football field, and then you can get whatever. And that's kind of what you saw today because, Andy, I thought that the Cleveland Browns would win that game. They should have handled that football team. And unfortunately, they have to regroup.
Reggie, for a fan that's sitting at home, it's 14-3. You're driving the ball. You're on the other side of the 50-yard line. And you get that interception by a 35-year-old quarterback, and then the game changes. How does the game change so quickly off of one play?
It's when you're on that field and you've been dominated, basically, and nothing works, and you get a gift, the momentum can swing. Adrenaline plays a large part in an athlete's makeup. And when you see an opening and you're playing at home, the crowd gets into it, and as you said, a 35-year-old veteran quarterback makes a move that he shouldn't have made. And we have seen this guy play, Jake Delhomme, play so very well. Didn't even have an interception during the preseason. Threw the ball almost at an 80% accuracy clip. And then he got into the football game and got under pressure and made an unforgivable mistake. And trust me, and we've got 15 games to go, so we don't want to go crazy today, but in my opinion, that particular play probably cost him the football game.
When you look, I know we got 15 more games to talk about this, but Jake Delhomme, today the naysayers got to say what they wanted to say. They said this was going to happen. It was going to happen. This was inevitable. But I will say early on in the game, it was refreshing to watch a quarterback that was taking charge on the field and looked like a true leader out there that could lead this team to victory. So the naysayers had their day today, but I do think there were some things that you could look at from the first half that make you feel good about him as a player.
Oh, no question about it. You saw his calm, his poise, his leadership, and those are things that you really need from the quarterback position, because when things are all chaotic out there and people are yelling and screaming, all kinds of ideas are coming into you, you have to have someone who is poised, someone who is calm, and someone who has been there before and exudes leadership. And I think Jake Delhomme is the kind of guy that does that. There were some things that happened today that just got away from him, and this just seems like the bio on Jake Delhomme over the last 2 or 3 years. Going well, going well, going well, bam, something crazy happens, and you lose a football game.
I would ask you, should we worry going into next week? Because Jake had the same thing last year. Didn't throw any interceptions during preseason. Everyone feels good. Goes into the first game, throws 4 interceptions. We know the rest of the story. Let's go to this, though, his receivers. His leading receiver is Evan Moore today. Evan Moore is a big tight end that they use a little bit as a wide receiver. But you really didn't see much from Brian Robisky. You didn't see much from Massaquoi. Stuckey had a couple plays early, but it didn't look like they had a lot of separation in this game.
Very excellent point. For those of you who are watching, go and look at your tape from 2 weeks ago, and I told you what defenses would do to this offense. I counted the number of defenders in the box on several occasions today, and it was always 7, and more times than not, it was 8. If you have 8 people in the box, and that's that area, folks, between tackles, and you have the defenders all bunched up in there, then they have more people there than you can block, and they're going to stop the run, and they're going to make you pass. Andy Baskin, did we not say that?
Oh, you said it. I was thinking about that thing. But, another thing about that offense today, though, Peyton Hillis, I thought it was Brian Daboll had a brilliant call early on in the game, the 3rd and 12, to set up the touchdown before that. But then Hillis drops the ball twice. Yeah. How hard is it to get back in that huddle after you've had 2 fumbles in a game? And how now for the rest of the week, what's going through your mind and your psyche? Am I going to touch the ball again?
Well, yeah, and then you put the head coach and the offensive coordinator in a bind, because now they're concerned about you. No longer are they just happy about the way you're playing and the people you're knocking over and the yardage you're gaining and you're moving the chains. Now they're simply wondering, oh, my goodness, do we have a fumbler? He's fumbled twice now. They're afraid to use you. They're afraid to call your name. It further condenses the attack.
The scary thing is he had only fumbled once in his 81 carries previous to that, Reggie, so he wasn't a fumbler prior to that. I guess the other thing we'll look at, we have you here. You're a player. They don't use a timeout in the fourth quarter. They have 3 timeouts. And you know the fans, and tomorrow morning when you turn on the radio stations, they're going to say, why would you not use your timeouts and use it right? You gave me a great reason why off the air. Give the people a reason why.
And as if that's what caused them to lose. And that didn't cause them to lose, because I'll take my odds on a defense in the National Football League playing a nickel and dime defense against offenses in the National Football League that have long distances to go. The statistics bear out and prove that the defense wins. But to answer your question specifically, I don't think that Eric Mangini called timeout, because he's got a 13-year veteran quarterback, 35 years old, who has been there many, many times, and I think he was comfortable with allowing Delhomme to handle the situation. Furthermore, when you have that situation and you do not allow the defense to reset, offense has the advantage. If you call timeout, give the defense a chance to reset, I believe, based upon those same percentages that I've told you about, that the defense has the advantage.
Let's go back and talk about the Browns defense. I was surprised, a couple sacks today. I thought the pressure was decent, but then again, you're saying to yourself, oh, that was Tampa Bay they played today. And when they play a quality offense, it could be something different. But the defense did look respectable, good.
Yeah, and I was just talking about this very point, Andy, that Rob Ryan has great creative instincts to game plan for opponents. And he knows what he lacks. He knows where he's weak, or he knows where he's inexperienced. And I have great confidence that as we go week to week, he will start coming up with defensive schemes that'll be specific for the team he's playing, and you may never see some of these defensive tactics again.
Okay, you bring that up. I'm glad you do. You're a receiver. The big play, when really Tampa Bay takes the lead, he leaves Joe Hayden out he blitzes both the safeties, leaves the corner in his first NFL game by himself. Second-year quarterback finds him. I know what you're saying, but do you want a rookie out there on the island in a third down situation in the second half?
Andy, we haven't told him about the golden rule, have we?
No, we haven't.
How much did Joe Hayden get? Guaranteed.
Oh, he's like $25 million. Yeah.
Golden rule. He who has the money makes the rule. Okay.
No problem.
So if I had a teammate of mine who was a cornerback, and he used to say, how do you people want to pay me $150,000 to cover Lynn Swann? He makes $1 million.
That's a good point.
So if you can't leave Joe Hayden out there on a Spurlock, now you probably know better than I don't know whether he's a free agent or
Free agent guy.
Okay. Is Hayden supposed to cover him?
Absolutely.
Case closed.
There you go.
Good answer.
All right, as we look towards, you guys are talking about the golden rule. Let's look towards this week. 2 things. Well, first question, and I know it's only 1 week into the season. Eric Mangini. Now here come all the nays. It's only 1 game, but this is Cleveland, and
And that was Tampa.
Yeah, and that was Tampa. So how long till we start hearing Eric Mangini? What happened in this game? What happened in Tampa Bay?
Well, I think Cleveland fans are savvy enough and smart enough to know that, okay, we've been down here, this road, this is the 11th season,
yeah.
and we've done this 10 times. We've only won 1 opening game. So we're kind of accustomed to this and coming back. We're a comeback city. I think fans are willing to give Eric Mangini some time. I think at least 3 or 4 games into the season before fans will start to get a little bit restless.
Okay. All right, let me ask that differently. If you're Mike Holmgren, and we don't know how he works from the inside out, but he's new to the town. First game that he's a part of a franchise, Reg, but he didn't get to call plays. He didn't get to say what packages he went in. What do you think he feels like when he flies home today and he's got to go look at the film tomorrow?
That is an excellent question, because it gives an audience a kind of another look at this, because we've been looking at it from the Mangini side. Yeah, Mike Holmgren's always been that guy making those decisions, making those calls. What would he have done here? Now, he's going to get a chance to go over this with Eric Mangini and give his opinions on what he would have done, or maybe not so much what he would have done, but perhaps what could have been done. That's a better way of putting it. Right. And in fact, it may be that Eric Mangini may walk down the hall to Mike Holmgren and say, what would you have done in this situation? So I think that this is going to be new for Mike Holmgren. May have him a little bit antsy, but I don't think he's ready to come out of that president's box yet.
Yeah, but for that to happen, don't you think it'd be a little new for Eric Mangini, too, to walk down the hallway and have to say hey, boss, what do you think we could have done? You hope it works that way, but then that's how stuff starts. Last question, since we got you here. Ring of Honor next week. Anything new on Jim Brown?
Not yet, and I'm not sure that this is going, if we have enough time between now and the next Sunday to get this thing done. I would just say that I know I will be talking to him in the next couple of days, and I'll see where things are, and let's hope we can have this thing